And it became official on Tuesday that James Conner would be added to the Arizona Cardinals backfield. How do you feel that this is going to affect Chase Edmonds' value in fantasy? I feel like I know what you're going to say.
Okay. It will affect his value, obviously. They're adding another running back that's going to get touches. And I said this on the stream or on the podcast, can't really remember which one it was, but I said that, yes, they are going to add a running back, but I'm not scared of any of these running backs that are left on free agency at the time. James Conner, Todd Gurley, etc. I'm not scared of James Conner. I don't think he's a good running back. I think he's solid. I think he's going to come in and have, a 2-down role with the Cardinals. Do I think he's going to get the 260 plus touches that Kenyon Drake has left? No. This is also a guy that can't stay healthy. He's missed at least 3 games in every season for the last 3 years and missed 2 games in his first year but barely played, so it doesn't really matter. Chase Edmonds has missed 3 games in his entire career. Not too worried about
big career stats guy.
I mean, in terms of missed games, yes. Obviously, what they did in 2018 and 2019 in the actual stat book, rushing yards, receiving yards, doesn't really matter. If I had to project it out right now, I think that Chase Edmonds and James Conner will go into a 60-40 split in terms of rushing attempts. I'll give the 60% to James Conner. Could be swayed a little bit towards like 55-45, but I'll go with 60-40 for the rushing attempts projections. And then in terms of running back targets, 85 to 80% Chase Edmonds, 15 to 20% James Conner. And I think that's where Chase Edmonds' value still comes from, is that he's going to be a factor in the passing game for the Cardinals offense. So if Chase Edmonds is going to get all of the passing down work like I'm expecting and some of the rushing work, I still think he's a very good pick in fantasy football this year.
All right, that's pretty fair. I mean, I honestly thought that you were going to be a little less bullish on James Conner. I'm surprised to hear you give him a 60% projection in terms of their rushing. And that's kind of...
if he stays healthy.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned, that he's missed games over the last 3 years, every single year. But, since entering the league, Chase Edmonds has, 2 seasons with under 100 total touches and a career high of 150. Since 2018, James Conner's lowest touch count, wait for it, lowest touch count, was 150, which is Chase Edmonds' career high. And that was in a season, by the way, that, like you alluded to, he missed games. He missed 6 games in that season and still had a low of what Edmonds' high is. So the thing about Conner that I think gives him value is the fact that he has heart, okay? I know that you don't respect him as a person or for what he's been through, but I do, okay? This is a man who is younger than I am right now when he was told by a doctor that he had a week to live. Okay, this man beat cancer, and that's the first thing that favors Conner. He has the will to win in life. I don't know if Chase Edmonds has that. He didn't even have the will to overtake a backfield from Kenyon Drake last season.
I mean, you're pretty funny, but I got some rebuttals to that. James Conner does have the build of a workhorse running back, right? I think we can agree on that. He's 6'1", 233. Chase Edmonds is what? 5'9", 210. So he's kind of a smaller back, and he's viewed as a change of pace back in the NFL and by a lot of fantasy football analysts. But if we go back and look at Chase Edmonds' college stats, for his first 3 years in Fordham, he had 250 rush attempts in each year. For his first 3 years in college, 20 plus touchdowns in each season, 1,600 plus rushing yards in each of his first 3 seasons in college, and then throw in 19 plus receptions in each of his first 3 seasons in college. He missed a couple games in his senior year, didn't really miss any games in his first 3 years. So this is actually a guy that is capable of handling a big workload. He showed it in college. In his freshman year, 300 plus touches. 280 touches in his sophomore year, 275 touches in his junior year in college. It just was unfortunate that he got drafted by the Cardinals. David Johnson was there. Then they bring in Kenyon Drake, and they had David Johnson. And then last year, Kenyon Drake was expected to be the workhorse. And we know Cliff Kingsbury is kind of a donkey, is he not?
Oh, he is.
So I'm not really knocking Chase Edmonds for not getting touches, because in the touches he got, he's productive. He's a productive player. 97 rushing attempts last year, 448 yards. 4.6 yards per attempt, 5.1 yards per attempt in 2019, and then obviously he had 53 catches last year. So I'm not knocking the touches. I think he is capable of being a workhorse. That's just me. I know a lot of people disagree.
I mean, it's fair to point out, no, that like being a 5'9", 205 running back and getting all those touches is different in college than it is in the NFL.
Well, yeah, 100%. I agree. But I'm just saying, like, he's capable of being a workhorse, I think, even at 5'9", 210.
Right.